she was just coming home from having shot the scene with Jason Love as well as another scene, and we're talking about it, and it did kind of stand out.
So there's another scene?
There's another scene with someone else that will be dropping in the near future, yeah.
With a band?
Yep.
Okay.
Lenadaplug and Adam22 built one of the most wild, chaotic, and completely unconventional relationships the internet has ever been addicted to watching unfold in real time, like some kind of twisted reality show that nobody could look away from. They had a beautiful daughter together. They split bills like true equals, made massive career decisions side by side, and dove headfirst into arrangements that most normal couples wouldn't even whisper about in their darkest fantasies, let alone broadcast to millions. But somewhere deep in the middle of all that raw openness and boundary-pushing glory, something fundamental cracked wide open, and now Lena is stepping forward with zero fucks given, speaking boldly about exactly why she made the decision to file for divorce from Adam22. And honestly, nobody in the comments or timelines is even slightly shocked, because we all saw this storm coming from miles away like a freight train with no brakes. What makes this whole saga so much juicier and different from your average boring celebrity split is that the very same explosive arrangement Adam once hyped up and fully signed off on ended up being the ultimate catalyst that handed Lena the unbreakable independence, the sky-high confidence, and the fat financial foundation she needed to finally walk away without looking back even once. So buckle up, because this story digs way deeper than the clickbait headlines screaming across every platform. To truly understand how we landed in this dramatic divorce chapter, you have to rewind all the way to the raw beginning, not just when Lena and Adam first linked up, but to who they truly were before their worlds collided in that perfect internet storm, because those early origins shaped everything that came crashing down later. Lena the Plug, born as Lena Nursian, rose up grinding hard as a fitness and lifestyle content creator, dropping consistent workout videos, personal vlogs that felt authentic, and that naturally magnetic personality that hooked people without needing fake drama. She wasn't some manufactured influencer handed a platform on a silver platter. She was out there putting in real work, building her audience brick by brick, long before any of the super controversial adult chapters ever exploded into the spotlight. People love to forget that part, but Lena was already a hustler, carving her lane with sweat and charisma, before the world reduced her to just one thing. On the flip side, Adam22, born Adam Grammerson, came from a totally different universe, starting in the BMX scene, where he earned real respect before flipping into media domination by launching No Jumper, which became this powerhouse interview platform that shaped hip-hop culture, discovering underground artists before they blew up mainstream and building serious credibility that went far beyond typical YouTube clout. He wasn't just another guy with a mic and camera. He was a cultural tastemaker who knew how to ride the wave of the streets and the algorithm at the same time. When these two forces finally connected, the pairing felt electric and inevitable, because you had two sharp minds who both mastered the internet game, both understood audience psychology inside out, and both carried that natural screen charisma that turns viewers into ride-or-die fans. They weren't afraid to put their entire relationship on full display, leaning all the way into the couple content, and the audience ate it up, devouring every vlog, every argument, every reconciliation like it was premium drama. They had been locked in for years, building not just a brand but a real life together, moving in, merging social circles, and eventually bringing a daughter into the world, which is huge, because when you have a child with someone, you're making a permanent statement that goes way beyond likes and views. You're saying this bond runs deeper than content, and even if the romance fades, the family tie remains locked. Having a kid also flips the financial script, because suddenly it's not just two people splitting rent, it's about creating real stability, security, and a future for that little one. From everything shared publicly, Lena and Adam ran their household like a modern power duo, where both brought serious income to the table with their own streams, and both pulled equal weight without one person becoming a burden. On the surface, that setup looks healthy and balanced, two earners sharing responsibilities in an enlightened way. But money in relationships is never simple. It's power. It's freedom. It's the invisible force that controls options, and when that balance tilts hard in one direction, the whole dynamic transforms overnight. And that's exactly the wildfire that eventually burned them. Now let's dive into the part everybody already has strong opinions about but rarely discusses with real nuance or honesty. Lena had already been testing limits with her platform, growing an OnlyFans presence, and owning her image in ways that made her stand out from basic influencers. But the move that truly detonated everything was when she started filming explicit scenes with other men. And what set this apart from typical stories is that Adam wasn't blindsided or betrayed in secret. This was a decision born from open conversations they had as partners, as business collaborators, and as two people whose entire brand was built on radical no-holds-barred transparency. The first scene dropped and it spread like digital gasoline, going mega viral, not just in adult circles, but crossing over into mainstream gossip, podcasts, timelines, and water cooler talk everywhere. People who never followed Lena suddenly knew her name, and the numbers exploded: views, subs, cash, all of it turning into a full-blown career rocket ship. From a pure business angle, it was genius. The attention snowballed into insane income, which fueled even bigger growth. And before long, Lena had shifted from solid content creator to one of the absolute top earners in the game, pulling in millions upon millions. For a while, Adam played the supportive husband role perfectly, going on interviews, addressing it directly with his audience, framing himself as this evolved man who was secure enough to handle his wife's boundary-breaking career, and standing 10 toes down beside her. Whether that support was 100% genuine in his heart or partly performance for the cameras only, Adam truly knows, but the public narrative he pushed was clear. He was all in on this lifestyle. Here's where the slow-motion tension started building, and this is the layer people often miss when they rush to judge. Lena didn't treat it like a one-off stunt for headlines. She kept going deeper into that world, getting more comfortable, more confident, more professionally embedded, while the money kept pouring in at a life-changing scale. We're talking real generational wealth numbers that don't just pay bills, they rewrite your entire reality. Lena transformed rapidly from successful creator to empowered mogul. And as that happened, Adam's public tone began shifting in subtle but unmistakable ways. The pauses in interviews, the careful wording, the slight change in energy whenever the topic surfaced. The man who once co-signed everything started showing emotional cracks he was feeling, things he either didn't expect or wasn't equipped to process long-term. But by the time those feelings hit hard, Lena was already fully invested, with an audience demanding more content, income streams that relied on consistency, and a rock-solid professional identity she had no desire to abandon. There was no simple reverse button, and crucially, she didn't want one because she was thriving, stacking paper, claiming her power. So why slam the brakes just because her partner was having retroactive second thoughts about the exact arrangement they both walked into, eyes wide open? This is where the story stops being about simple right and wrong and becomes a raw case study in how time, success, and shifting power destroy even the strongest setups. Imagine Adam's position watching his wife build an empire from a path he initially greenlit, but now emotionally struggled with. He couldn't flip publicly without looking like a hypocrite after all the supportive clips floating around forever. He couldn't shut it down without coming off controlling and inviting massive backlash from her fans and the wider internet. He was trapped in the box he helped build with no clean exit. Meanwhile, from Lena's side, she was experiencing daily proof of her own capability, making independent decisions, setting her own rules. Watching her income reflect her effort, and that constant reinforcement of autonomy doesn't stay locked in the career box. It floods every area of life, changing how she carried herself, what she tolerated, and what she expected from a partner. When you're pulling millions solo, the relationship math completely changes. The reasons to stay have to be deeply real because financial dependence is no longer a factor holding you there. Lena wasn't relying on Adam for stability, she was creating her own on a bigger scale than his. And that kind of power shift from mutual need to one-sided independence is one of the toughest tests any relationship can face, often proving fatal. Lena speaking out about the divorce filing is powerful because she's not hiding in silence or vague statements. She's addressing it directly with the same forward-charging energy she brings to everything. From what she shared, this wasn't some impulsive blow-up after one fight. It was the result of a long internal process, realizing the relationship no longer fit the evolved versions of themselves. And that's actually one of the most mature breakup reasons out there, not explosive betrayal, but honest growth pulling people in opposite directions. She's talked about how mastering her career and owning her choices reshaped her completely. When you spend years making big decisions on your own terms in an industry where you control the boundaries and your success mirrors your hustle, you build an unbreakable bond with your independence that's almost impossible to negotiate away later. Lena cultivated that self-relationship through her work, and any marriage that started feeling like it cramped that freedom would naturally begin to suffocate no matter how it started. The trust element here is extra complicated and rarely examined closely enough. Because Lena and Adam weren't living a traditional marriage, they had this high-wire arrangement, demanding a very specific unbreakable trust that most couples never face. Adam had to trust that her professional scenes wouldn't erode their home connection. Lena had to trust his support was authentic and not just content fodder. They both had to maintain razor-sharp lines between performance and reality, and that's insanely difficult when most normal couples can't even keep work stress from poisoning dinner time. Add millions of eyes watching every move, and the pressure becomes crushing, turning their love into public performance art, where genuine private talks felt impossible without becoming the next viral clip. Their entire relationship lived in a fishbowl where strangers felt entitled to comment on every detail, and that external noise reshapes everything from the outside in, whether you fight it or not. There's a special kind of exhaustion that comes from constantly performing your partnership for content. At some point, you just crave realness, privacy, the ability to struggle without it becoming endless discourse. Lena filing for divorce might partly be her reclaiming that right to handle something deeply personal, even while staying somewhat open about it happening. Their daughter adds another heavy layer because raising a child is challenging enough in private, but doing it as public figures, with one parent's career being so polarizing and the internet weighing in on every parenting choice, creates pressure most people can't imagine. Yet both Lena and Adam have shown genuine care for their role as parents. That part always felt authentic, even when everything else got messy. The kid is probably why this divorce took so long, because when children are involved, you don't bail at the first sign of trouble. You fight harder, have more late-night talks, tolerate more uncertainty since the consequences hit innocent lives. It's likely the public only saw fragments while behind the scenes, two parents were desperately trying to salvage something workable long-term. But there's always a breaking point where staying together causes more damage than separating by modeling unhealthy dynamics, or hidden resentment that kids absorb like sponges regardless of what adults say. Sometimes the most responsible parenting move is making a clean, honest decision even when it hurts. Zooming out, this whole situation serves as a fascinating case study on the dangers of building a relationship's identity around radical openness without the private emotional tools to support it long haul. Lena and Adam were always extremely transparent about their love life, their money, their fights, their sexual boundaries. And that rawness is exactly what made them so addictive to follow. But transparency without deep internal processing can become a dangerous trap. You can broadcast every detail publicly while still avoiding the hard private work of understanding what it all really means, the long-term costs, and how it will feel years later when the thrill fades and reality sets in heavy. The adult content chapters were discussed openly by both, but talking on camera and truly wrestling with the emotions in private are worlds apart. Adam might have convinced himself and his audience he was okay before fully facing his feelings. Lena might have accelerated faster than their joint processing could handle, not from malice, but because they were living life at hyperspeed, under constant exposure with little room for quiet reflection. Looking ahead for Lena, the path looks strong. She's achieved financial freedom most only dream about, with a loyal audience that sticks. A career lane she's mastered and owns completely. Her identity no longer fused to being half of a couple. She's a standalone powerhouse. And that's real strength, even if the journey was complicated. She'll keep being an amazing mother that doesn't end with papers being filed. What changes are the logistics, custody schedules, co-parenting rules, visitation, all the practical stuff that will define the next phase. For Adam, this hits different. No jumper continues. But losing the family unit, even when inevitable, still carries heavy emotional weight. He helped architect the situation that ultimately led here, and that's a tough truth to sit with. Plus, the public spectacle means endless opinions, memes, interviews, and side takes from both fan bases, because that's the world they created, where personal pain becomes content. At its heart, the Lena and Adam22 story is about the real consequences of living your entire relationship out loud in the spotlight, choosing visibility over privacy, and turning intimate choices into entertainment. They sold the fantasy of the ultimate modern couple. But the cost is that the audience now gets front row seats to the painful unraveling too. The same openness that built their empire is what makes this divorce feel like the finale to a multi-year series. Yet beneath all the views, brands, and drama are two real humans who loved, built a life, and are now figuring out how to untangle it while protecting their daughter, who never asked to be part of any of this. There are complicated feelings on both sides that no viral clip can fully capture. Lena has made her choice, filed the papers, spoken her truth, and is moving forward with clarity that comes from painful growth. Whatever comes next, the cameras will keep rolling, and the internet will stay glued, but the most important healing, co-parenting, wins, and personal evolution will happen off-screen in the quiet moments that actually shape their futures. This is the complete picture of how we got here. A tale of ambition, freedom, power shifts, and human limits that, whether you love them or criticize them, forces you to admit that even the most boundary-breaking, unconventional relationships still run on the same fragile emotions, insecurities, desires, and needs as every other one on Earth, and sometimes no amount of money, fame, or openness can save them when the core stops aligning. The internet watched them rise, and now it's watching the fall, but life after the breakup is where the real story continues, away from the content and into reality.